biggest show in the continent right now, MS Live, right here on MS24 TV with yours truly, Mac Moten. And I have my next guest in the studio, and he's my brother from LA. He's one of the finest rapper. I mean, he's one of the finest lyricists when it comes to storytelling. He's on top. And I have my brother here, and he goes by the name Nana.
Yes, sir.
Nana Akwaba.
Medasi.
Medasi. Yeah, Medasi.
Medasi.
But you're trying small. I will teach you one or two.
Absolutely.
So what's your favorite Ghanaian dish?
Jollof.
Jollof.
Yeah, jollof, fufu.
Fufu. Okay.
Banku every night.
Banku and everything.
Yeah,
okay,
every
that's
now
cool,
and
bro.
then. Yeah.
It's nice to have you on the show.
Thank you.
It's an honor to have this interview with you.
Thank
you, sorry.
Thank you.
I would say it's not just an interview, it's a conversation
Absolutely.
we're going to have because
Absolutely.
you are connecting to your roots and it's very, very important.
Yes,
that
sir.
Let's assume for someone watching you for the first time, we want to know the man behind the music. So who is Nana?
I'm an artist from Los Angeles, California.
Okay.
That grew up in with the duality of having, the advantage of having parents who are cultured.
Okay.
As well as getting the American experience and growing up and being born in America and seeing, how things work outside of my household, but then going back to the house and getting that,
okay,
the culture.
Okay, that's very cool. Nana, I know your family or your parents are very strict.
Mm-hmm.
You are from a strict family. Mm-hmm. So how did they allow you to pursue music?
It was strict, but it wasn't as strict when it comes to the whole reason why my parents came to America is for opportunity.
Okay.
Right? And with me doing something productive, like music, I feel like they were very open. Like my father's my biggest fan.
Okay.
Yeah, same with my mom. My mom, she has a beauty supply in Los Angeles, California. Everybody that comes, she tells them, follow my son, follow my son, follow my son. So, they have front row every show. So I think for me, initially, I assumed that, I hid it from them because I thought that they wouldn't be as accepting. But, with them embracing what it is that I do, I think it even helped me from a confidence standpoint. It helped boost my confidence in knowing that I had that support from them.
So, Nana, I know you are a native of Crenshaw. How has it influenced your personality and influenced your sound of music?
It's everything from the way that I dress, the way that I dress, the way that I talk, the things that I'm a very visual person. So I like to, even in the music, if you've never been, you can visualize what this area feels like, what it tastes like, the textures from the streets that I'm naming to the schools that, I've been to and the people, even down to the people, that I made reference in my music, and I, give a great deal in honor and respect to someone like Nipsey Hussle who put it on a global scale, and I'm just following in the footprint that he kind of left behind, so.
Okay, so Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
So should we expect any potential collaboration with Kendrick Lamar? I don't like the guy though, but
I like Kendrick. I like Kendrick a lot. I mean, hopefully, that's something that I could pray to eventually happen. But I think for me, I'm really focused on what it is that I'm doing. But I am very much so, a fan of his and him, putting on for, Southern California and, everything that he's done has been amazing.
Yeah, for real.
Just as we've seen within the last couple years, with the level of consciousness that he's pushing, I think it's dope because I enjoy, like, we all like to have fun, but we all like to think as well. That's what makes us human beings. It's the duality of us.
Yeah, for real.
Having that, both sides. So I think what he's pushing, I've always been a fan of. So hopefully in the future.
Yeah, for real. So, Nana, how best can you define the kind of music you do?
Real life music.
Okay, real life music.
Real life music.
Okay,
yeah.
That's very dope. Let's get into your discography. I know you dropped your debut EP in 2018, which is titled Nana.
Yep.
So throughout the journey to your last body of work, which is Are You Still There? Can you tell us about the growth, how you have evolved as an artist?
Yeah, it's about, I think for me, when I first got into it, I always just wanted to try different things and push myself. And even from me going by Nana, I didn't always go by that name. So when I took on, embracing who I am, and I decided to name my first project Nana's EP, it was like, okay, now what do I want people to connect to,
Okay.
And for me, it was just connecting to something real. So I think throughout the journey is just giving people my experiences and trying out different things sonically, and going as in-depth as I possibly can and getting people to know me. That's my number one goal with everything that I drop, is getting people to know me if you've never heard me. And if you have, just allowing people to get insight into where I currently am right now in my life,
So if you look back, what would you have done different, or what would you have told young Nana?
I wouldn't necessarily say I would have done anything differently, but I would say to the younger me, just continue to believe in what you believe in, and be humble to an extent, have that confidence and knowing that this is what you were put on this earth to do.
Okay. That's very dope. And I know you have a song with Nasty C. How did you link up with Nasty C? How did you guys connect?
I met, it's funny because I call him Junior.
Okay.
Yeah, I call him Junior. But I met him in LA around, I was like a year or two ago through my manager. My manager works at Def Jam, and at the time, Nasty C was at Def Jam, and he was Nasty C's A&R. And he had just kept telling me about him. So we had finally met, and then we did we crossed paths a couple times, and then we were a part of a writing camp about a couple years ago, and we just locked in. And me, I'm someone that's, like I said, I like versatility, and I like to like pride myself on being versatile. And for me, once I really got into his music, I'm like, wow, this dude he's like one of the most versatile people, and personally, I think he's one of the best rappers in Africa. On the continent.
Okay. That's very dope. And I know last year was a milestone for you. You collaborated with Snoop Dogg and D-Smoke on the song Biscuit, and your verse was very crazy. How did you guys link up?
So D-Smoke, he's a friend of mine, and we met. Ironically, we actually opened up for Kendrick Lamar, and that's the first time we met in late 2021, and it was at a festival. And me having been a fan of his from him being on Rhythm and Flow on Netflix, I already was familiar, and his manager knew who I was, so he introduced me, and then we just clicked, and we kept a good relationship. He was like, yo, I want you to come to the studio. And at that time, he was working out at Snoop Dogg's studio. So, we did that track, and maybe a week later, he said, yo, Snoop Dogg wants to get on the song. And I was like, no way. And a couple days later, he sent me, the verse, and I was like, wow, this is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
But how was the experience working with Snoop Dogg?
It was amazing. We didn't do the song with Snoop Dogg present, but we did end up shooting a visual to it.
Yeah.
And we did it at Snoop Dogg's compound, and he's a very nice guy. He's exactly what you think he would be in real life. He's very hospitable, and he's extremely humble, and you get to realize why he's in his career, like after meeting him, like why he's at that level.
So what's one thing you learned from him when it comes to work ethics?
From Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just to always stay on point, stay on your toes, and always stay busy.
Okay.
Always stay busy.
Stay busy.
Always stay busy. Stay busy.
Okay.
Yeah. Always stay busy, because to be doing what he's doing after 30, 35 years, some people, they hear 1 year, they go on the next. This guy's been gone for over 35 years.
I mean, his debut album, Doggy Style, came 32 years ago.
Yeah, 32 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah. 1993.
Yeah, yeah.
It's almost 30.
Yeah.
Almost 33.
Yeah, almost 33.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, it's just that longevity.
Yeah.
You know, he's like at this point, he's like, I mean, we all see how long LeBron has been playing, and Snoop Dogg has been going longer than that.
True.
So that should just tell you,
so,
you know, where he's.
What's one thing you want your music to represent?
Honesty.
Honesty.
Yeah, honesty.
Okay.
Honesty.
That means you are very conscious about that.
Very transparent about who I am and the things that I put into my music, and you know, eventually when I have children, when they listen to my music, am I going to be proud of what they're listening to?
Okay.
You know.
With your storytelling, I know one artist you really draw inspiration from is Snoop Dogg, and your favorite Snoop Dogg song is Rewind. Mm-hmm. That's where you draw inspiration from.
Yeah.
So, what's one thing you love? Sorry, Nas. What's one thing you love about Nas that he has been one artist you look up to?
I love, honestly, for Nas, his storytelling.
Okay.
Way he's able to tell a story. Like, I think that's one thing that us as human beings, we all love since we were kids. Like, we all love a good story. When you go into bed, tell your mom to tell you a story to take you to bed, right? When you go to the movies, you watch the movie for the story, for the plot. And he is the best at telling a story, or he inspired me the most when it comes to storytelling, I should say.
Yeah.
You know, and I like to use him as a benchmark in how I would like to just like mirror that sort of feeling when people that I get from listening to Nas. I can only hope that people feel the same when they listen to my music, you know.
Okay. So how long did it take you to master your niche when it comes to storytelling?
I'm still doing it.
Okay.
I'm still doing it. You know, I think that it never stops. It never stops. You know, it's always a progress. It's always a new way to tell a story. You know, and I think for me, it's just tapping into new ways on how to tell the story and evolving that with every project, every song. So.
Okay. So is it you listening to stories from people, maybe the conversation?
Absolutely. That's the main thing.
Okay.
I think the more people that I meet and the more I hear about how similar but different we are within, you know, this journey of life, that inspires me. Like, just conversing with people and hearing people's stories and hearing what people have gone through.
True.
You know, because we all are human beings, but we all are different. We all have been through, you know, maybe have been through similar things, but different circumstances. So, yeah.
So will you say your music is therapy for people to listen to?
Definitely. It's therapy for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for your fan base?
Absolutely.
Okay. That's very dope. And I know last year you dropped, latter part of last year, you dropped 2 singles. But let's start off with Double Lap. And what inspired the song?
Just fun. Just most of my stuff, like I said, is requires you, for the most part, to think. But this one, you know, like I said, like, we as human beings, we're nuanced. This is just fun, you know. I like having fun, and I just wanted to create something. It's featuring an artist by the name of Buddy from Compton, California, and I'm a fan of his, and he's also a friend of mine. And you know, we just got in the studio. It was just like, yo, let's make something that people, you know, could have fun to and listen to and just jam to, you know. So,
yeah, for real. Yeah. And let's get into Answer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And Answer to what draw the inspiration for that song?
That one is featuring another talented artist by the name of Fabo.
Yeah, Fabo.
And it was kind of the same thing but different
approach.
Different approach in a way where it's like, okay, I'm speaking to a specific audience when it comes to this record, and that's the women. And you know, I feel like that one feels like, if you've never been to Los Angeles, it feels like Los Angeles.
Okay.
You know, it's real smooth, top down, summertime. You know, and LA is one of those places where it's like no season, so you can play that all year round in LA. So yeah.
So the way you are heavily promoting Crenshaw, LA, I hope that's the same way you're going to promote Ghana as well.
Absolutely. I mean, me choosing to go by the name Nana is me promoting Ghana because, you know, that name is not a common name in the States, but here in Ghana it is. So I think that was very intentional in letting people know who I am. So when anybody from Ghana, they hear the name Nana, they already know where I'm from. You know, so that was very intentional. And yeah, I'm, you know, I'm talking to you live from
real.
from Ghana.
I think you need to link up with Vic Mensa.
Oh yeah,
and touch down and make a massive project with your Ghanaian
Vic
brothers
Mensa
and
was
sisters.
I was supposed to actually get Vic Mensa on the song that Nasty C is on.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Man, he was doing a TV show at the time. I think he was on the Shy.
Yeah.
So, you know, schedules didn't really align. But yeah, he was supposed to be on that song. And you know, Vic is somebody that, you know, he's been around for a minute, and he is really doing his due diligence and pushing, you know, his demonstration when it comes to Ghana. So
Last year he did a show with Chance the Rapper.
Yeah, I remember.
At the Independence Square. So should we expect any show from Nana in Ghana?
Absolutely. You can expect many shows from me here. Yeah, this is home. Okay. So I think for me, you know, I'm not a tourist.
Okay.
You know, I think I want to establish and just really be in the mix when it comes to, you know, the artists here. And, you know, a lot of them I personally know. A lot of them are my friends. So, you know, I'm going to keep coming here. I'm going to keep, you know, collaborating and doing my thing here with that.
Okay. But Nana, do you plan on getting your own record label here and promoting the emerging artists from Ghana to put them on that level?
Yeah, I think for me, me personally, I always feel like I don't have to have somebody under me to give them my stamp of approval. I think me working with them is enough, vice versa, you know, and telling the world about them and going back and telling, you know, America or wherever I am, you know, about them, because I think that's the best way to promote and help push artists is by telling the world and telling, you know, wherever it is that you have to go back to about these artists, because I feel like what Ghana is doing, the world is now starting to gravitate towards. So.
So, Nana, I want us to talk about December in GH. I want your honest opinion.
Yeah.
Do you think we are promoting our music intentionally to the diaspora?
Yeah, I think Ghana is doing the best it can with what it has, you know. And one thing that I do love, I love how everybody, when they leave Ghana, they leave with such a positive experience, especially when it comes to the artists. Now, the times they start the concert is a different story. The time they start the concerts is a different story.
I want you to share your honest opinion. What do you think we can do to make it better? Honestly, is it about the sound? Is it about the time?
No. I think that's just what it comes with. It's just like, you know, when you're in Rome, you got to do what the Romans do, and that's how things are. And most people don't leave the house here, and most people enjoy the fact that, you know, you don't leave the house till 2 a.m. To get to somewhere, because there's so many time restrictions in the States and in other places, you know, where it's like everything, like LA, everything shuts down at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
So everybody's in the house. So I think the fact that Ghana, you know, I like to see things for the positive side. And I feel like the fact that Ghana, most things don't start till 2 a.m. is an amazing thing, because most people, they just want to be out. They just want to have fun. You know, they create a memory, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Nana, I know you have been in Ghana for a couple of times, and you have been listening to Ghanaian music. Can you name your top 5 Ghanaian rappers? Top 5 Ghanaian rappers you're listening to?
Yeah, for sure. I like he's not, I wouldn't say he's really a rapper, just on an artistic standpoint. I really like Ara the J.
Ara the J.
Yeah, Ara is amazing.
What do you love about his music?
Ara sounds like he's from a different time.
Okay.
He's timeless. His music doesn't sound like, it sounds like he time traveled. Like he's just completely different. I even played his music for my parents, and they love it.
Okay. So should we expect any possible collaboration with him?
Absolutely. But I think we're going to get in the studio this week, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Nana and Ara the J, guys, is going to be massive. It's going to be mad tune.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed.
Yes.
Coming out pretty soon.
Very soon.
Very
soon. I like, they're actually a group called Super Jazz Club.
Super Jazz Club.
Club. Yeah, I love Super Jazz Club. I like Joey B.
Joey B.
Yeah, Joey
But you
B.
love to work with Joey B?
Of course, that Joey B is a friend of mine.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what are you waiting for, bro?
Nah, it's timing. It's about timing. You know, you want things to happen in the right timing. You know, so yeah, Joey B. I'm actually waiting on Joey B. Yeah, Joey B. We're supposed to get in the studio. He actually has a track that he wants me to get on. So.
Bro, you need to, bro.
Yeah.
We want that collab, man.
I'm
and you spitting bars on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I can't wait for it, man.
Yeah, same.
It's
same,
sap,
same.
it's sap,
yeah,
bro.
nah,
It's
gonna be dope.
What about Sack? What do you?
I was about to name him next. He's an OG. He's
Yeah,
like
man.
the OG. So like he's like you know, he's here.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's done a great job in laying and paving the way for the artists that are, you know, coming up, and I still don't really see anybody that has done it to the level that he's
real.
done it
Yeah,
at.
true.
Like especially lyrically.
Okay.
You know, there's nobody that I can think of that I can name that.
Name.
You know, and of course Blacko.
Blacko. What about Manifest?
Yeah, I love Manifest too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Manifest is dope. I like his style, and I think he's more closer to my style of music as well. You know, I could tell like he's a student. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, you know how you just listen to somebody and you be like, yo, this dude, you could tell he reads. You know what I'm saying? You can tell that he studied the art of hip hop.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, Manifest for sure.
So your last project was 2024. Are you still there? And when are you dropping your next project?
April 20.
April.
Yeah, April.
This year.
Yes. April
How is it going to sound different from your last project?
Every song has a collaboration, as you've seen with Double Lap and as you've seen with Answer. You know, me and D Smoke, we have another song that's not the one with Snoop Dogg on my next project.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just collaborating with my friends. You know, most of the people that I respect. You know, everybody that I respect, and the name of the project is called Internet Killed the Superstar. Internet
Killed the Superstar.
Yeah.
Why that title? It's very intriguing.
Yeah, definitely, because it's the truth.
Wow. Very profound.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to hear it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll give you an early listen. I'll send you the link.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, man.
Yeah. I'll send you the link.
I need to. So now, last words to your fans, and what do you have to tell them?
Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for always being down. Thank you for giving an ear when no one else would listen to. And then when, you know, people were so excited about my music, my fans are the ones that put them on to my, like, you know, my music. But when people haven't heard about me, you know, so, and I want to thank you guys for having me. So I really appreciate you and everybody out there that's listening to my music, especially from Ghana.
Wow.
You know, from Medina to Nima to Kwashima to
East Legon.
East Legon.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All through Ghana to Kumasi, everywhere.
Yeah, for real.
So
for real,
I appreciate everybody.
Bro, nice having you on the
Thank
show. We really appreciate your time.
you.
So that's my brother Nana from LA, Crenshaw, man. And he's representing the motherland to the world. And April this year is about to drop some massive project, guys. Fingers crossed. And we can't wait for it, man. Just fingers crossed. Guys, I go by the name Mac Moten. You can follow us on our socials, MS24GH, #MSLive. And unfortunately, we have to wrap up on the show. Catch you same time, same place. Love conquers all. Peace. I'm out.
I don't do it for the likes. I do it for